the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Memamo akwaba eba ye Nsem-Pii TV so. Abusua ene breaking news a ababeto Ghana memha ni nyina efa ye maame Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo officially ana finally Excellency John Dramani Mahama enya asake ye maame Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo from office. Menemo ka say ene ye maame Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo former Chief Justice of Ghana and our former Chief Justice. Na enyenim say abra ensem we nyina ebaye no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama eti a 5-member committee na Justice Poamai ana na chair sa committee ni say omonhwe sa ensem we nyina say ye maame Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo ehu behia say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebesake no ana say on sake na menam so ma suspend Chief ye maame Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo na ene ana Justice Poamai ene ne committee no submit report no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo Jubilee House na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama hwe nsem nyina kamea say 5-member committee a Justice Poamai chair no oma enya fine Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo guilty mbehia say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama sake no na menemo ka say this Excellency John Dramani Mahama enya official ma really kata from Jubilee House ababeto abontia Ghana for ye nyina ye hu bi official say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama enya sake ye maame Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo na nam so na obi ene o mahene tena ase okosi sendwumadie so no ene o mo de nsem na atodwa efa nsem we nyina no busua wo de yenje bre nyenti obi ne o mahene ensema o mo de tudwa
you be aba ma twem na wato aso
okay.
Me da se papa. In the breaking news from the presidency, munim say the Chief Justice Committee a nsem no one report on the first petition kokoma omampanyi John Dramani Mahama na emrane so ka say committee no dey report kwa recommendations on the president is bound by the recommendations. It is following the receipt of our report no presidency communications issue statement. President Mahama removes Chief Justice Gertrude Isaba Saki Torkonoo from office. Statement maker said President John Dramani Mahama has, in accordance with Article 1469 of the 1992 Constitution, removed the Chief Justice, her ladyship, Justice Gertrude Isaba Saki Torkonoo from office with immediate effect. This follows receipt of the report of the committee constituted under Article 1466 to inquire into a petition submitted by a Ghanaian citizen, Mr. Daniel Ofori. After considering the petition and the evidence, the committee found that the grounds of stated misbehavior under Article 1461 had been established and recommended her removal from office. Under Article 1469, the President is required to act in accordance with the committee's recommendation. Signed, Felix Kwachi Ofosu, spokesperson to the President, Minister, Government Communications. That's the statement of every presidency. Abba. As we speak, Omampanyi Chief Justice Gertrude Isaba Saki Torkonoo every office committee are finding guilty of the allegations against her and recommending the removal. That's the breaking news. It will come back and talk about this. But on a Republic, the Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofosu, Honorable Akwabe Kosi saying Sony.
Yeah.
Na apomi yede. So na Singapore ni Japan boko.
Oh, baby I boko. Nyame adom. Yeah, the session be we now show me.
Sure.
Into yabeka Ghana.
Yeah, I mean, I could see say it was a very successful trip from the kind of deals Mutimi Enya development mining. Maybe we need time to unpack the various agreements Mutimi Sinsa Beboa or Mino. We'll find another time and do that. But a statement away Union Sa Akebi. We know say committee report was just on one out of the 3 petitions. Is that the case?
Yeah, no correct. Justice Gabriel Pomanchi Mono. I'm sure you've seen the video of the presentation, any statement out here.
Yes.
But you say, Omo crowd say, Omo share petitions, that they were considering it one after the other. Omo consider first one, I am Mr. Daniel Ofori, at the by anyway, you know. I am the community, you're talking to me, and a year appeal fee, a year chief justice side by say, say, choose we mishkeda. A couple of brown so my crowd say, the year. So that is what happened. But a son was Sanchi, each petition stood on its own merits. So it was going to succeed or fail on its own merits. On the basis of Mr. Delofori petition, the choir, and I recommend it. The Omushe movie, I was some permitted to sign a morning. I wouldn't say Article 1469. A showman permitted to say the committee, not the recommendation, but not only I didn't share back and I'm on to our own to one. We knew as some can be I say, or do more, I didn't share no, I mean, statement here about
I don't know if the details of the exact recommendation mobile in the public, and by that I mean say on the Daniel Ofori petition what exactly did the committee see say Chief Justice I wrong in that petition for which they recommended her removal? Okay.
You didn't come out the details of the petition.
Sure.
But I think it's fairness and natural justice demands. The Nipa, Yadia Samaba Fanomonum, and I'm on to it to say no, air cosono. Yet sure command on who saints here, Akobanisa. In the Menoka say, I can confirm to you the Omanpeni letter, I can't Chief Justice and Sa. Anna Omanpeni issue warrants, a to me crata, a chair with one amortisa. You see, in that letter to the Chief Justice, the committee's findings and basis for this action is clearly stated. It will not be he knows. But she knows, Mr. But no moment, any other meet with the Africa. Tell me a constitution or Abraham is sending to me.
Is the president minded and aware of the magnitude of this decision?
Oh, of course. As a president, one of the most experienced public servants.
Yes.
Why am I some degree? Why in the legislator? Why you be a watch them for 3 tenths for a month for a work only by more constituency?
FM.
And I be vice president and I be president on 2 occasions. And he is fully aware of the magnitude and weight of removing a chief justice. But constitutional rules, let's say, it is not about individuals. It is about institutional arrangements. You may have your views, I may have my views, the president may have his views.
Yes.
But once the committee presents a finding, he cannot do that. But of course, everybody knows. Chief Justice in many packets. So he is fully aware of the magnitude of the decision here.
And then I've heard the arguments this will set a bad precedent for the judiciary going forward. How would you react to Sir commentary?
Unfortunately, those who say that are losing sight of something. You see, the fundamental principle, idea a book to run into their memory, any memoir, and number of council. And they say, "Yen a pet or man." It's the also a bite trek. Maybe I didn't particular. Maybe I will offer, maybe I won't offer. Maybe I will become really sick. But a band of no way a pet. You see, a bar. You are the boat, and one at the boba. That is the position of the law. So, above all, Cassidy, I'm kind of sacred cow philosophy. Obi we in Pakistan mind to say, Akobane say, a man say, Yanfa will pass up Kwendiswa. Yes, I will leap Pakistan we in see, yet. That is what will set a bad precedent. As that a highly regarded personality and as a significant personality in Ghanaian society, a very powerful head of an arm of government. It does not set a bad precedent. If it is the case to say, in Naswini, due process was not followed, the managers, young and the there's a man and second petition, and of 50% crack as a chief justice. Then that sets a terrible precedent. But it will not even be countenance in the face of the law.
Yes.
Let people see. Unless we are under a dictatorial regime. But when he has gone through due process every step of the way, up until now, there is not one single instance of being to me actually Tom and Penny Bumra and so the American say, all Americans say this sets a bad precedent now. Have really not established what bad precedent it is. The fact of the weight of the office is immaterial. It's an argument. In fact, see a good person of mine. Now the Chief Justice Ebu Mraso near never na kwaso. Na se mpegasa obi a oton kudo kwaso na kwase never na kwaso. Then we have arrived at a country that is underpinned by the rule of law. That cannot be a bad precedent.
For clarity's sake, and for maybe the lay persons listening to us, meaning say for someone to become a chief justice, the person should first be a justice of the Supreme Court. Now, the CJ has been removed from office as chief justice. It affected the membership of the bench as a Supreme Court judge and so on.
I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot make any constitutional pronouncement.
Sure.
The minimum say, as of a name on your chief justice, if there are any consequential matters that arise out of that decision, I'm sure say the appropriate authorities will deal with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But what it then means, they say, then immediately, Omanpenyi will take steps to name a substantive chief justice, right?
Of course, it means that there is a vacancy.
Sure.
If you say Omanpenyi, it's to say, I say, Utuana Mondi Famina, I want to say, never who they will organize for it.
Now, the committee in the settings, effectively, it comes to an end, sir.
Well, sir, which year Justice
yes.
They've adjourned hearing of the two other cases. So it is up to them to decide. They will go back to look at them. But I'm not in a position to tell whether they will continue or they will not.
Okay. Honorable, I think that should be it for now. I don't also know, say, when it happens, because a year novel NC, at least in the Fourth Republic, say Chief Justice Kofi say the entitlement they are being in Abeka Huana say it is how does that play out?
I think that is a matter for the judicial arm of government to consider. Yes.
Okay.
You see, they will determine what is due here and not due here. Yeah.
Very
well. After whether or not she has to get anything at all. I don't know if within the bottom of the judiciary.
Sure. Felix, my men say, Bibiania, Yabasaya ba ababi din komobio. Why? Yeah, that's a Felix Quachu Fusu, Ekasa, Nsem-Pii, John Dramani, Mahama, and now science a binding in our Casamafo, and Amotesi and AD and Como. Ecosi saying, if you wanted any confirmation, that confirmation is here. Nsem-Pii, pursuant to recommendations of the committee set up to probe allegations and petitions against the Chief Justice, Chief Justice. Every adieso and now there is a vacancy said your kind of someone penny take steps now of failures and vacancy a day yes man that's where we are now.
Well, they say the law is the law. If that is the position of the law,
the law is the law.
Mujidi say Obi Ade Bibi Ayawa and Namne Kwan should be
also have
opportunities to ventilate your right. So as to whether it's a precedent bad one or good one, I think the posterity is there. All of us, so mine be also the Marachichira, it depends on how the Marano Chichira or mine. Very important. Mra Juma now be a who's a prepare your Atimaya Juma. obianwa obekasa. So I don't think that, as I say, we should be seeing konya as Omai. So a chance and a jebren ya da yibi believe say na eye dutwem emu owrem e din si da na yem hihie say in so betimi dia ba yake ma men kebia mamu. Into the right question was that Omampai eye boarded and avoid onim emu dura eye sa na mo a wotu ya na ono so na a good response onye onipa afa no be sha manyo semase wafa baby si. In fact, this is the second time we are na doma was betina akonya na otiso no. The enyadia obe underestimate and obe under the time of these days we win wakai to waseti committee say monfa mra enye adwuma when we o mano this same yenkenka de ba board to fa say the kasaba fo aka no o say bibia wie say Omampai say moni adwuma baby adu de for we go na to wabra waso other ones in the waka no o man no hye na be kire say o sefata ba ma me nan kasa de me say o mranim for paying papa sa na de onim de o se oye ba ade bia ye bia no bi se meka se wodwene o man Ghana ho na oye a wo mi se ebri beba anamontu bi so beba Ghana anamontu ana ye dwene ho. It's very important. Say ade bia se Ghana mindset na do ya. There were times when people spoke about this plain matter and their description was that they are doing it for the country called Ghana. And genuinely, if they still believe that they are doing it for a country Ghana, that kind of renewal, any mindset na, any nationalistic no. All decisions they take biano, you just talk to for suspicion and for other things. But I want to believe that we know assuming but once the law continues to be the law, I expect that
the law will be the law. The law is the law.
Of course, Obi. It was a such example. So we be any Pakistan. And you can say Mran Chiwa, so we any Pakistan. A man for you, a man Chichuma, as it chum 3x4, a man for Yajim.
The law is the law.
And I did hear and say we have to move on as a country.
Yeah.
We the Omampai or that to me to do what he has done in the sight of the law say appropriate. So the country Ghana must move on. Because never the bro hobby. Ya sitting the stress in terms of university, opportunities, whether Moankasa and as a Banjuma and Ankram Krajuma, whether the proposal or exim bank and NAP and all the other places now, Omunya as there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done.
For now, we have to move.
We have to move on.
The danger is the. To say the honorable Toby Ekai.
Yeah.
Says that to be almost so bad. And the choir almost.
Why are we thinking that? That is not for us. Say a judicial, I say we are as a papa. I don't know how to do that. What you have to, what you are doing now is that Adia Makasi and Kuntiano, and then opposite. Tomorrow has never been. Tomorrow, we cannot argue on those lines again, Obi. It's not healthy for us as a country. It's not a bad thing. I can say, Yoko to an amount to a bill condition that will be said, whether you are satisfied or you are not, or some brand or the other, or two more casse, say, stand a surety, and see a deep break on your question. I'm running now, tell us, Guapayum or delay some Macronano, and your master will apply that same law, but don't have that mindset to say, where the Guapayum will be the moment we start doing Guapayum, all the institutions will be affected. But say, and a man be able to be where the Guapayum. There be Emra obi se we the most social emra Emra na ye emra na de adwuma. It mean the principle I'm saying I adhere to say today is applicable. Tomorrow, if that same application is being done, don't come and explain yourself.
Okay.
Don't come and explain yourself. It's like the fight against illegal mining. And I'm saying the last minister, why are there? Because one of the promises the NDC gave us was that with the revocation of LI 264, is it 2642 or whatever?
Yes.
I'm proud of Attorney General. I can't machine with your you have the numbers. So the first bold step I made after 8 months of NDC administration, but take it here, last minister, and the course dying age. So on show now on revoke it's our LI no. And it's a major because